Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Retro Seller, where in this episode we'll be covering yet another handheld console straight out of China, this one being the Anbernic RS97. Now, this isn't a new console, it's actually been out on the market since about 2017, but like a lot of these consoles that come out of China where they're just spitting them out on a regular basis, before you know it, you'll get something that at the time is state of the art, and then it's outdated and they replace it with something else. In fact, I have something that I reviewed on this channel about a year ago that itself is actually outdated. If you'll remember the Anbernic RG351P, which has been replaced by an RG351M, and then there's a 352, I think, out there. And before you know it, that's going to be outdated too. But why did I get this one? Well, for one thing, I got it for 40 bucks on AliExpress, and I couldn't pass that up. So I just wanted to give it a little perusal and see how this thing performs in 2022. But what are the features of this one? Well, it has a 3-inch IPS screen. The operating system is an OpenDingX. CPU is a dual 528 megahertz. RAM is a DDR128M. Memory is 16 gigabytes. Has an 800 milliamp battery, which will get you about 4 to 5 hours of playing time. And the systems that this runs are the PS1, CPS 1 and 2, Final Burn Alpha, Neo Geo Pocket, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, regular Game Boy, Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Sega Master System, Game Gear, MSX, PC Engine, and Wonder Swan Color. So that's a decent lineup of things that this could play. There are actually other versions of this one. There's a newer version that also had an analog stick and an 1800 milliamp battery, but it was only a slight upgrade over this one. Like I said, they keep upgrading them. There's a couple interesting things about this one. This is really kind of gigged up more towards the Game Boy Advance, where it actually has a port for you to link to a Game Boy Advance. There was a version of it, an older one, where you can actually put in Game Boy Advance cartridges and play them on here. This version, you can't do that anymore. We'll look closely at it when we actually break it down. But why don't we do our usual unboxing of this thing, and then have a look at some of the games that it plays to see if in 2022 you want to get one of these. Here we have the box that contains the Anbernic RS97, and as you can see, it's a pretty decent box. Keeps it well protected. Says retro game on it. Has basically what's inside: the console, AV cable, USB cable, user manual. Shows you some of the features on the system, which we'll be looking at. Says that it has a 64-bit operating system, some of the games that it emulates, yada yada yada. Music playing. It's got a mono speaker. You're not going to rock out on this thing. You're not going to use the picture browsing or the ebook or any of that stuff. Surprise. Made in China. And that's about it. That's a look around the box. So let's open her up and see what's inside. So we have the RS97 itself right here. Yay. We'll look at that in a second. We have the user manual, which is actually a rather nice one. Has Chinese and English in it. Goes into some decent amount of detail, but we're not going to look at that. And this would be the audio video cable if you want to plug it into your TV and play it. Again, we're not going to be looking at that. And we have the USB mini for charging. It shows you how dated this thing is, that it's still using that. But 2017, that was commonplace. So let's set this off to the side and have a look around the system itself. And we're going to do the oh so satisfying removing of the screen protector, if I can get at it. Alright, we finally got this. Believe it or not, this little tab from the screen protector was tucked underneath the bezel. So that was a pain in the ass. But here we go. Oh, so satisfying. So let's look at the screen. So let's look around here. We have the USB mini port. This is a brightness button. It's where you can adjust it, the audio video out. This is the port to connect to another Game Boy, so you can link together and play together. These are your shoulder buttons, which are a little iffy. They kind of stick here. They don't really feel all that spectacular. And there are games on here that will utilize it. Not a fan of those. You have your power button here, your volume wheel, and this is for you to put your headphones in, poke a pin in there to reset. And this would be the Game Boy Advance cartridge that I spoke of, which you can actually take out. But if you try to put a Game Boy Advance cartridge in here, it ain't going to work. So that's kind of unfortunate. That would have been neat, although there are Game Boy Advance games on here to play. So this, if you look here in the cartridge, is a slot to put a SD card in there. So you can actually add your own games to it, I suppose. And let's throw this back in there and look around the front. So, like I said, this is an older version that doesn't have the analog stick. Not that I really utilize that often on any of these handhelds. I'm an old school guy and I prefer the D-pad. And this D-pad is actually really good. Good travel. It's not too stiff. Looks like if you want to pull off some moves, it would be easy with this D-pad. You have your start and select buttons. Your A, B, X, Y buttons that are pretty responsive, not too clicky. Feels pretty decent. And this is where your mono speaker is. Again, you're not going to play music on that speaker. So we'll fire this up and see what it sounds like and how good that screen is. There's that Anbernic retro game icon. And here's your menu, which is actually pretty decent. I actually like this. That's where you would access your games, your music that I doubt you use, pictures. That's your ebooks, your files, your settings. We won't really get into it, but we'll take a quick perusal of it. You can do language settings, background, sound settings, backlight time, backlight settings, restore default settings, system info, TV out mode, and that's that. We'll scoot back over to the games here and see what systems they're running. There's your CPS, Neo Geo, Game Boy Advance, Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Famicom, Game Boy Color, Sega Master System, Game Gear, Game Boy, and that's it for now on this system. Like I said, you could add more games to it and play it on the other emulators, but this is the stock systems that you can play on it. Supposedly there's about 3,000 on this one. So why don't we just do a quick run through of some of these systems and some of the games. Again, I'm not going to play all of them, otherwise this video is going to be over an hour, so or longer. But let's look at a couple of them. So take a look at how bright that screen is. I mean, even with these studio lights on here, it's a pretty bright looking screen with extremely good viewing angles. So if you hit start and select, it brings you up to this menu where you could adjust the game settings, map the buttons, instant archive, reset, and quit to go back to the other main menu. Screen looks really good on here. And the audio is not too bad either. Audio seems to be a little sketchy on this. It's not playing bad though. See that skip in there a little bit? Audio is a little iffy. even on the NES game. A little stutter on the Game Boy. That sound, not all that great. Well, that wraps up our video covering the Anbernic RS97. Do you need this thing in 2022? Probably not. There's better Anbernic devices and even higher end things above that that can play everything this can and then some. In fact, as I said in the beginning of the video, some of the systems that it says it plays include the PlayStation 1, which aren't actually on here. And to be honest with you, if they were, it would probably be very poor at emulating any of those games. So it's probably best that they left them out. But if you're a collector, this is great. I mean, it's 40 bucks. It plays a lot of games on it, plays them well. That screen is incredible. The audio has its issues. There's some glitchiness, some screen tearing, and other things. But really, it's not that bad. And the build quality is great. Fits in the hand pretty good. And you can't go wrong with it. So I'm actually glad that I added it to my collection. And maybe you wouldn't mind having it in yours either. But anyway, that should wrap up this video. And please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video.